Hello, and welcome to my channel. This is Elise here of Plan with Elise, and today we are starting a week-long After the Pen video where I take you along with me each day as I fill out my planner. This is going to be a little bit different than previous, what's going on over here, After the Pen videos because I am going away on Friday. And so what I'll do is these will be blank when I leave, and then when I come back we'll do a little bit of like back planning and talking about the trip. So there is a lot going on this week. It's going to be very busy getting ready to go away. So let's write today over here. It is Monday morning and today is payday. So of course I need to update my budget. It's also my first day back after being away for a few days. So, well, I got back Saturday night, but I haven't been like in my office in my planners. So there's a couple of things that I need to do, like just to get myself back on track with Plan with Elise, make sure my videos are scheduled, all of that. I also have my weekly actions from my Moxie Life companion notebooks that'll help me like stay on track with what needs to be done this week. So I'm going to write over here Heather B Day, Heather's birthday. Oops, kind of spelled that wrong. And I'd like to exercise today. Backtrack spending is something that I need to do from being away the last few days, but I'm going to do that as part of my update budget. And then I have a goal of working on some of my dresser drawers. So today I'm going to try to do 2 dresser drawers. I wrote down exercise. I need to back journal because I didn't bring my journal with me when I went away. So I want to write that down. And then we need to make sure that my videos are scheduled for the week and I don't mess up anything like that. And then I'm also just going to write releases here because today there's a Castatic Plans release. There's also a Planner Kate Misfit Monday. Wednesday is Planner Kate Warehouse Wednesday. Thursday is a Wrong release. I don't think there's a release on Friday, but I think that there's one on Sunday or Monday. So I have to figure out all of that and make sure that I am prepared for those. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to write here yet. James is here for the day, so if we end up doing something tonight, I can write that. I can also write what book I'm reading, which right now is The Friend Zone. And then originally, I had put 2 hexagons here because of my nephew's birthday, but we celebrated his birthday on Sunday. So I don't know what these are going to be. At some point this week, I need to get a pedicure. I may actually do kind of like a brain dump here. Thursday night, I have dinner plans with my friend from my birthday, which is Sunday. And then on Wednesday, I have a funeral. And so there's just like a lot going on that I need to kind of map out. So I think that over here, I'm going to list out all of the things. So I'm going to write back track spending. And then I think I'm going to write out the custom Patreon spreads I still need to do for July. I only have 4 left, but that's one of my goals this week is to get those done. So I'm just going to write the names here. Kedra, Erica, Bobby, and Sean. And those won't get checked off until the spreads are in the mail. The videos are done, the shipping labels are printed, the spreads are in the mail. We're going to write pedicure. I also need to do an eyebrow wax. Laundry. Of course, pack, but I'm not quite there. I actually need to write unpack from the weekend being away. I have not unpacked yet, so that has to happen. My goal for the week is 3 dresser drawers, so I'm going to write 3 drawers. And also closet dresses. And then I don't know what else is in my mind for this week. I'm always hesitant to fill up an entire list on Monday morning. Like, so many other things are going to come up this week. I also know that I have a meeting on Thursday with my accountant. Um, so there's a lot up in the air, but it's going to be busy. So I am going to get to work. This morning, I don't have that much time before my workday starts. So I'm going to update my budget, backtrack my spending, schedule my videos. Okay, I think that the last clip of this on Monday cut out a little bit because I didn't realize that my storage was full. So I probably wasn't saying anything that important. I did get through my list yesterday. I also unpacked and I've done one spread. Got a little bit of an injury. I filmed a video this morning and sliced my thumb. It has not happened in all these years of videos, but it finally happened. So, oh well. And okay, let's go back to yesterday. So I'm going to do reading here. I finished a book yesterday and I started a new book. I'm still working through the book about anxiety. So here's what I did. After work, I made dinner and then I finished reading called The Friend Zone, which I really, really liked. And then I went upstairs to unpack and work on my bedroom dresser. And while I was doing that, I was listening to the audiobook about anxiety. And then after that, I started reading a new book. So the most reading I did yesterday was for the book that I finished and the new book. So I'm actually going to write both of those down. And then I'd like to finish one of the two today. I don't tend to have several books in progress at the same time, but it's kind of just happening right now. So we're going to write The Friend Zone. And I will tell you, doing an after the pen video has gotten me productive because I had forgotten by the end of the day some of the things that I wanted to do. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to get on camera and talk about whether I did things or not. So it really helped. And then the second book I'm reading is called Expiration Dates, which is a really quick read. I feel like I'm probably 40% through it already. So we're going to do that. Now, let's write today's list. So sometimes I write down things that I've already done. I feel like I have so much to do this week that because I'm sitting filming this just before work starts, I'm not going to write down things that I've done. But what I will tell you, I filmed a video and I exercised. So those two things have already happened today. So I filmed Kedra's video. On my lunch break, I want to film Erica's custom spread because those are going to be part of the same video. So I'd like to film them near each other so that I can just export them and get that into YouTube. I did not backtrack my spending. I did update my budget, but I didn't backtrack my spending. So I have to do that. I have monthly destashes happening with my Patreon members. So I want to package them. And I'm going to do half mailing labels. I have a lot of packages to send out, like 20, and I'm just not going to be able to do all of that today. So I'd at least like to get through half of that. I have one more drawer that I want to work on this week because to reach my goal of 3, but I feel like I may as well do 2 drawers. So I'm going to write that here, 2 drawers. I'm not ready to do laundry yet since I'm leaving Friday. I want to wait and do it maybe tomorrow or Thursday. So that's not going to be on my list. I don't think I'm going to do closet dresses today. I have to take out my trash. So I'm going to put that down here because that's usually the last thing I do. Take out trash. And I feel like there's something else in here that I'm missing. You know what we're going to do? We're going to clean my desk because it's getting a little messy again.
Okay, now today we are going to write Mason. Today's my nephew's birthday. So originally I figured we would be doing something as a family tonight, but we are not because we did it on Sunday. So let's add some color in here. I should have kind of done apostrophe S, but we're going to leave it as is. Mason. And then 12. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I have a 12-year-old nephew. It's crazy. And I'll need to call him, of course. And then after work today, I have a dentist's appointment because I broke a tooth. I didn't really break a tooth. One of my crowns fell out, so it needs to be re-cemented. So life as a lease. Ironically, this always happens right before I go away. It happened right before Go Wild. That was an actual break and required a couple of appointments. This I know is just a re-cement issue because it happened. I popped it back in and I'm just chewing on the other side. But this just needs a little bit of glue. If I had mouth cement, I'd do it myself, but I do not. So that appointment is supposed to be 5:30. I'm not going to write 5:30 because it's kind of up in the air. When I called the dentist office yesterday, they said, well, he's away. He's coming back Tuesday. He may call you and ask you to come in later or earlier or not at all. I was like, not at all isn't really going to work. So we are going to leave that. I just really hope that I have that appointment today before I go away because it's not something that I want to deal with while I'm on vacation. Okay. The other thing I'm going to put here is mail destashes because I'd really like to get those out this week. And then I'm also going to write OG Patreon prep and UGC video, which is user generated content, which is videos that I create that you never see. They go to other companies who hire me to create them. So this is my list for today. Hopefully it's a good day and I'll check in with you tomorrow. Hello. It is Wednesday morning. It's quite early. So let's take a look at yesterday. I did backtrack spending. I got through everything on my list except for 2 drawers. I actually didn't do half mailing labels. I did all the labels because I don't like when things are unfinished. It was just like, if I'm going to go through the process of printing and packaging and all of that, we're just going to do them all. And that's what I did. I'm covering up 2 dresser drawers because something else came up yesterday that required several hours of my time. And if you missed it, I wrote a book. And my editor emailed me yesterday that they had my final manuscript ready for review and they needed my edits by today. And I wanted to make sure to do that yesterday, not today, because this morning I have a funeral and I don't know what my headspace is going to be like when I get home. And I felt like it was better to get that done yesterday since it had to get finished by today. I did have the dentist yesterday and that was at 5:30. And I'm going to write need a new crown. So that was like a Band-Aid fix, but I have another fix coming in a couple of weeks. Okay, today we're going to do a little bit of back planning because let's talk about my schedule for today. I need to leave at 9:20, 9:30 for this funeral today. Then I'm going to get home and work for the rest of the day at my full-time job. Then after work, I need to get a pedicure and get an eyebrow wax before I leave for my trip on Friday. At some point today, I'm probably going to throw in laundry as well because I don't know that I'll have time to do it tomorrow because tomorrow I have to pack and I have dinner after work. So I woke up early this morning so that I could get things done. So you can see, like, I don't normally have a sleeve on, but I'm dressed to leave for the funeral. So I'm gonna write exercise. I already did it. I also filmed Bobby and Sean's spreads. So we're gonna write that. And Sean, I'd like to write down mail spreads. I don't know if that's going to happen today. I do have to go to the bank to get cash for tips for the pedicure and eyebrow wax. So we're gonna write go to bank. Mail destashes was done. Seeing what else was on my big list today or this week. August Patreon prep I did yesterday, which was good. And seeing what else I can fit in today. There's not going to be that much that I can fit in. Realistically, when I get home from my pedicure, I can do the drawers. So let's see if maybe I'll do it. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I also need to run my dishwasher and empty it. So I may run it before I go to before I leave for the funeral. And then the UGC video is something that I'm going to have to do tomorrow. I'm at the point in the week right now where things are getting cut out. There's only so much that I have time for because there's been stuff going on every day except for Monday. And there's just not enough time to get it all done. So I'm in, like, not survival mode, but I'm in crunch mode. So now it's just what has to get done versus what might be done. So let's also do laundry today. Okay. I hate writing funeral in my planner. I'm going to write memorial service. This is the second time this year that I've gone to one, both for family friends, both for men who I cared about deeply, and it's hard. I don't want to make this video about a funeral, but love the ones we have, love them deeply, tell them you love them, make the plans. You know, there's no promise of tomorrow, right? So that's what I'll say about that. Okay, and then we're going to take my pink pen and put this over here. Something that I don't like to put in my planner, but it's life and it's where I'm going today. And it's, you know, it's life. Okay, so we have one more day of this week that I'll be filming because the rest, like I said, is going to be back planned after the fact. Oh, I also need to, you know what? We're throwing a sticky note in here for something extra because it's one of James' friend's birthday today, who has become one of my friends too, and I don't want to forget to reach out to him in the midst of everything else. We're going to write a little bit for tomorrow because I know we need to pack. UGC video. These are my musts. And I'm just going to write passport. I know where my passport is, but I want to just put it in my purse. I don't want to put it in my purse before I leave, like before. I don't want to bring it with me to the funeral today, but I need my passport to be front and center. It can absolutely not be something that I forget. So those are just going to be some notes there. Okay, I'm going to finish getting ready to go and I will check in with you tomorrow. It is Thursday morning and I got through most of my list yesterday. I ended up not needing to go to the bank because when I pulled out a purse that I was using, I found money in there. Yay, that's a win. So I didn't have to go to the bank and I did not do 2 drawers. I just didn't have the energy, and this week I've put a lot on my plate, so that did not happen. Over here, I'm going to write, I think in the last clip of this video, I mentioned that I had an accounting meeting today. I was wrong. It was yesterday, but it didn't end up happening because my accountant had an emergency, so that had to get rescheduled. So today is my cousin's birthday. I told you I had a lot of birthdays this week when I made this spread. So I'm going to write this down. Okay, and then let's add some color there. So I kind of had a light bulb moment yesterday as I was scrambling to get everything done with such a short week and a short day yesterday, because I got home from the funeral at about 12:30 and went straight to work. I think that things are going to slow down a little bit in August when it comes to YouTube. I think that, let me just write this. I think that it's not even as much the videos that are taking so much of my time. It's all of the things that come along with them. So here's an example. One of the things I have to do today, before I forget to write this down, is I'm going to write weekend photos. I need to take photos of my spreads that are going up on YouTube this weekend. If I'm away August weekend, that's something I'm going to have to do every week. It's a lot of planners to keep up with. And while I love using multiple planners, I think that in August, I'm going to use less. I actually am debating using only my classic vertical and my dashboard. I'll still use my journal, but where I'm going to pause is my big, I think, if I can, and my Laurel Denise. And part of why I'm pausing on the Laurel Denise portrait planner, even though I love it, is because I'm not really using it on the weekends. And I used it ahead. So if I skip August, then I'll be able to like go back to it when it's dated in September, because currently I have July dated over August. So if I pause on that, I'll be able to resume when it's actually the right date. The other thing that I'm starting to realize is September is typically planner launch season. And for content creators, that can mean a lot to do in August. So I'm kind of anticipating a lot that I have to do in August, even though the content won't go live until September. And I do know that there's going to be a loss of income probably, because I'm going to be doing less videos. So it's less ad revenue and less affiliate opportunities. But I feel like it's a step that I need to take. In June and July, I got rid of Patreon one-on-one Zooms, and that helped, but I'm noticing it's still not enough. So we've got to continue cutting down. I wish that I went a little bit higher here, but tonight I'm going to a restaurant called Pesto with James and my best friend Mel to celebrate my birthday. Okay. One of the things that popped into my head when I was trying to fall asleep last night is that I want snacks for the trip. Every time James and I go on a road trip, I forget snacks and I'm always really grumpy. And if you watched one of my custom Patreon spreads a few months ago, I talked about my grump bag, which was what my grandparents used to do, which was a bag full of food so that I didn't get grumpy. And I want to go to CVS today because it's really the closest store besides Whole Foods, and just pick up some snacks, some Sour Patch Kids and some Goldfish and some Nutri-Grain bars, and just snacks because I don't want to get grumpy. I also need to buy wine because the restaurant we are going to tonight is a BYO in New Jersey. Many of our restaurants are BYO, which means they don't have a liquor license and you bring your own wine. And Mel is pregnant, so I'm not going to ask her to pick up wine. I am going to pause on the house organization because that's just not going to happen this week. But one of the things I need to do today, I'll probably kind of jot it down throughout my workday, is to make a packing list. I pack much better when I make a packing list. Otherwise, I'm just throwing everything in my suitcase. So this is the spread so far. And I think that the functionality part of this came out really, really great. I still, this morning, so here's my timing. Right now it's about 7:45. Oh, I did exercise this morning already. So that's done. I'm going to make the UGC video and take weekend photos. Then I'm going to right now, grab, oops, there's Washy, grab my passport. I'm going to put it in my purse and then I'll get to work. And then I'll make my packing list. On my lunch break, I will buy snacks. I'll kind of pack throughout the rest of today and tonight. I think we're probably leaving for dinner around like 5:30, and I can also pack a little bit in the morning because I think we're waiting until after rush hour to leave so that we're not sitting in traffic. Other things that are happening while we are away. We don't really have any plans for tomorrow. On Saturday, we have a walking tour of something. We have lunch with people that I know who live in Montreal. And then we have a boat tour, like a sightseeing river cruise. I'm assuming river. I don't know. And then I don't know what we're doing for dinner Saturday night. Sunday night, we have reservations at a nice steakhouse for my birthday. So some of the trip is very planned out, some is kind of up in the air. But I'm looking forward to it because while James and I have been away a lot together, this is the first time that we've been away without it being with family or friends. And first time I'm driving to Montreal, crossing the border. So it's going to be fun. And we're going to put my passport away right now. Okay, it is Monday evening. It's about probably 7 o'clock. We got home like a half hour ago. And while everything is fresh in my mind, I want to finish up. So I did get everything finished on my list on Thursday and Friday. We are going to write leave for Montreal. Now that I'm home, I'm like wishing I had more hexagons for each day because there's so much that I want to write down. But I'm going to do the highlights and then I'm definitely going to memory plan the trip and do some scrapbooking. So let's write leave for, and the drive wasn't that bad. It took just driving time and not like stops, probably about 5 hours and 40 minutes on the way there and 5 hours and 15 minutes on the way home. On the way there, the stops were really just one bathroom stop and then another stop to eat. And at like where we ate, James charged his car because he has a Tesla. And so it just needed to charge because it gets like, I don't know, 300 something miles. So we just needed to do a charge each way. And our hotel had a charging station. So he was able to charge while we were there. And then Friday night, we went to, we kind of just went to a few different bars and like ate like appetizers and snacks throughout Friday night. So I'm just going to write explore, which is sort of what we did. I was really tired Friday. I think, how do I do this? I think that the travel just took a lot out of me. I also think that I was probably really tired just from the week and how much like prep I was doing to go away. So I think that kind of wore me out. Explore. Oops, is that a explore? And then I'll write a couple of noteworthy places that we went. Just color this in. So I'm going to write do two little dots. Mad Hatters, which was the place that we liked. The only problem, I think it's the only problem with it was that there wasn't air conditioning, so there were fans. And then the second was Bellevue Terrace, or as they say in Montreal, terrasse, which is what we learned very quickly. Okay, Saturday, I'm gonna do something a little bit different here. I'm gonna combine two things because again, I'm going to run out of space. So I'm going to write tours. So we did a tour in the morning and then we did a tour later in the day. I just think that the pink is really fun. So as I'm doing this, overall, the trip was wonderful. We really had a great time. I didn't even need to exercise. I don't even feel like I need to because the amount of steps that we took was unbelievable. So I should do two little bullets here. We'll start with one. And the first tour was called Downtown. and Rezo, which is the underground city in Montreal. There are 20 miles of tunnels that bring you around the city, and they have stores and things like that, but it's really a place to be able to, or a way to be able to navigate the city without having to deal with the extreme temperatures that Montreal gets. The whole time we were there, it was between like 85 and 92 and very, very humid. And then of course in the winters, their temperature drops below zero. So very, very hot. And then we did a river cruise, which I loved. We really, really enjoyed that. We learned a lot about the port and about the city, and that was great. And then we're going to write lunch here. So I don't remember if I mentioned this in the first part of this video, but in my early 20s, I worked at a different job than I have now, and I was there for 6 or 7 years, maybe 8, I don't remember. And we had a contact in Montreal and a family that really became family like me, you know, maybe 10 years younger than my parents, but this husband and wife I became very, very close with, and they have daughters my age, and we were able to see them. I haven't seen them in 9 years since my last trip to Montreal, and it was wonderful to see who I consider to be my Montreal family. So I'm going to write that here. And then we went to dinner on Saturday night, but again, I don't really have room for that here, so that will be memory keeping. Then Sunday was my birthday, so I'm going to write here, tour of old Montreal. We also went to an island that has the, that was the site of the 67 Expo. And we did like a trolley tour around that. So a lot of touring, a lot of sightseeing. And then the most memorable part of the day was a really, really special dinner. If you are ever in Montreal, if you live in Montreal, if you are visiting Montreal and you want to go out for a very fancy but worth it dinner, I'd recommend this place called Gibby's. It's a steakhouse and it was amazing. The service was wonderful, and they even take a Polaroid photo of you and put it in a little card when you were there as like a little souvenir, and it was wonderful. So now today is Monday, so I will need to back plan a little bit for today since the day is pretty much over. I don't even remember what my spread looks like. Oh, right, I did this last week because of the release of this sticker book. So here's what we're gonna do. We will write today, and I'm gonna do the things that are on my list before I go to bed tonight. I want to unpack. I'm going to throw in laundry, of course. Today is payday, so I need to update my budget and pay bills. And then I'm just gonna write video schedule. I need to look at this week. It's like Monday night, and all of a sudden tomorrow morning I am going to be thrown back into the thick of it with work, and so I just need to take a minute to kind of look at my week, which is why I wanted to come home, you know, not too late tonight, so I could have a few minutes to sort of reset. So overall, when I look at last week, a lot happened. It was a really great week. I did not complete all of my goals for my bedroom, but they were just things that took up time that weren't originally planned. Going to the dentist, having a memorial service, just I put too much in the week. I put more in the week than I was going to be able to fit. And so we revised and it all worked out. So thank you for following along. I hope that you enjoyed this video, a little bit half planning, a little bit half back planning. And I think that's a wrap. I'll see you next time.